Yes, so this AI platform is called Gangspark.ai. You see, so here it has different tools. You can move from slides, PowerPoints to AI sheet, AI doc, AI designer, and so many amazing things. But today I want us to try this AI sheet. You see, it partners a lot with Gmail. You see, so I'm suspecting Gmail, Google, that this is their product. Okay, so it says AI sheet. So we're just going to click on that AI sheet and let's see how it looks, right? So the AI sheet here looks exactly like Excel. Okay, it looks exactly like Excel. We are going to see how it looks. So here we have this already reviewing here. You see, so this is it here. So this is the exact format of Excel. Now if you look around here, you see that I started using some credit. AI works with credit. There are some credit that I already started using. So I've already used 29% of my free credit. Okay, so it's remaining some 70 something that I need to still use, So right here you see that if I go to full screen up here, this is my full screen. Here you have wrap text, you have merge, you have just the same as you find in Excel. You have the insert tab, you have the page layout, you have the formulas, you have the data, you have the view, you have the setting. And then you see that up here I can still exit full screen. But I want us to exit full screen so that we can see how to bring in our data and start manipulating using AI. But here now we have this other data. Now this is Excel itself. Okay, so I want to bring this data in. The idea here is to allow the AI merge this data into its self and then analyze this data for me. So right here you see that this is my data here. Here I have divisions, I have subdivisions, I have latitude, I have longitude, and then here I have boys, girls, total children, and then we have IDPs, we have hosts, we have returnee, we have status, we have person with disability boys, person with disability girls, total persons with disability. Okay, so we just want to see how this data is going to be brought in. So I've named this data lessons. So I'm going to come here now to my AI platform, and there are two areas that you see here. Here you have export, so we can export a file out of this system after analysis. Okay, and we can also bring in a file by choosing that open file there. I'll just choose this Excel immediately, and then before you know it, you see that it brings that file inside the AI platform. You see, so the file is here, very quick. So it did that very quick. So this is very powerful. Now I'm going to exit that, and then we are now in this position. So what I'm going to do here, I'll just ask AI a question. I will say analyze this data using pivot table. You see, pivot table, and design a good dashboard with slicers. You see, so this is it. Let me spell it, analyze well. You see, so I've just said analyze this data using pivot table and design a good dashboard with slicers. Now I want to put S here, so I want to send this. Let's see how it reacts. You see, so it's working on your sheet. So now AI is doing the work for you. So AI is thinking, you see, so that is what is happening. So it is exploring the data, telling you the steps that it is taking. Now I'm not doing anything, I'm just watching, I'm not pressing any button on my machine, I'm just watching AI do the job for me. So this is how AI can help you do a lot of work so far as your data is concerned. So it keeps the page, so it says keep the page open. Yes, the page is open, reading the data structure. So it works like a human being. It brings the data, understands the data, analyzes the data, and then begin to structure the data into different forms. Remember, our request was just analyze the data, creating us a dashboard, and then with slicers. That was a simple command or simple prompt that we gave, and then it is working on it. So I can keep this, get a coffee, or go out there, just relax. Before I come back, the data will be analyzed. So let's just wait and see what AI does for us. So you see the steps that is taking, you see the steps, different steps. Now it goes to deep thinking. You see the different steps that it is taking, you see the different steps. It is rearranging the data, summarizing the data, and then bringing the data into that prompt, okay, trying to fit into the prompt. It is analyzing the data as we gave. So it's using two operating sheets. So you see the steps right from up here. You see the steps right from up here. It came here, you see, total children. It gave us the total children, total person with disabilities, total IDPs, total hosts, total returnees. And it came down here and said create pivot tables for key analysis by division, by sector, by organization. You see now, we didn't give that detailing, but AI was able to identify that. You see what is happening, creating status and org cards, creating KPI. So it is doing a lot of work, guys. And then here it says, now we'll create the pivot tables for key analysis. Let me build multiple pivot tables that will power the dashboard. You see, so it is going ahead and is building the pivot tables. Now it says build dashboard sheet with KPI summary card. These are some details. So AI is doing a lot of work. Add charts, bar charts by division, bar chart by sector, stack bar chart by, you see. So that is what is happening, guys. So this is ongoing, and I'm not pressing anything, I'm not doing anything. AI is doing the job for me, okay? So this is how powerful things are becoming in this space. So AI is doing the job, but of course you have to pay attention and learn how to prompt AI to begin to analyze your data for you. So you see that you don't necessarily need to be a data scientist or data analyst. So you say, now we'll add the charts to the dashboard. Let me create a bar chart for division analysis and pie chart for sector analysis. You see what is happening now. So it is taking it step by step, and it is designing. You see what is happening here. You see what is happening here. You see, creating sector pie chart, creating division by bar chart, exploring pivot table. You see what is happening? Please, I have not touched anything. I'm just watching. I'm just seeing how AI is analyzing the data for me. It says the charts are now created on dashboard. Now let me update the task and implement the slicers for interactive filter. Remember, we talked about analysis, we talked about dashboard, and then we talked about slicers. So it has already done the analysis, done the dashboard analysis using pivot tables, also concluded with the dashboard. Now it wants to start applying the filters. You see, so it is applying the filter. Now I'll implement the slicers for interactive filtering. So slicers will allow us to filter the data dynamically on dashboard. So that is what is going on. So let's see what we've got here. So you see, that is it there. You see, creating sector filter. So slicers are also like filter, okay? So take note of this. So once this is done, we are going to bring this out of this system, and then we see how it looks on our Excel sheet. So and apply professional formatting and styling to dashboard. So you see, it is going really deep and really giving us what we need. So I'm not touching anything, guys. You see what AI is doing? That's what AI is doing. That's the power of AI. So AI is doing the job, going from step to step, and analyzing everything and giving us the data just the way we want it. So that is it. So you see the process of AI. So see where it started. You see, this is our prompt here. You see, so it started analyzing the data, creating comprehensive dashboard with pivot tables and slicers. Let me first plan out this multi-task. You see, it planned it out, explore data structure on both sheets, and then it came right down here, dimensions, organize. You see what is happening now. Let me explore the data structure more detail, understand all dimensions and metrics available in the dashboard. So you see what is happening is it came here, create pivot tables for key analysis, created our pivot tables, came here now and then build dashboard sheet with KPI summary cards, you know, and then came down here and said add chart, bar chart, pie chart, and all this, and then came down here now and said implement slicers. So it is so amazing, guys. And then came right down here, and then we saw that it was applying professional formatting and styling on our dashboard, and then came here now and gave us summary. Now let us export this chart out of here and see what happens. So I'm just going to click that. So it's exporting the chart out of here. So I'm going to download the chart and let's see how it looks. So I want to download it. let's see how it looks. So come here now, and then I open it, and then we see how it looks. So enable. So this is where we are. So this is our dashboard here. Okay, so this is our dashboard of analysis. So you see how it created our dashboard. So this is our dashboard of analysis. So right here we have the this by children, we have the distribution by sector. I don't know what's happened. Let's check the data. Let's check our pivot tables. So it created all the pivot tables on one sheet. You see divisions by total girls, total children, IDP, returning. So all this was done by AI. Organizations, Marsh Local, Hardy, and then this other, summary. So it gave our summary by activities, it gave our summary by organization, by sector, and then by division. Now, when we put in this data here, we had just this data in, but there's another data that it was able to pick. If I unhide this other data, this data here, you find out that there was another data here that it was also working with. Okay, so when you are sending in your sheet, make sure that you have just one sheet that you want to analyze. If you put both sheets and you hide the other one, it's going to pick that sheet that is hidden and still analyze that sheet. Okay, but again here you see that there are some gaps that we are already seeing here. So if I go back now to my pivot tables here, just my pivot tables, and I click inside here and I go to insert here, and then I take any chart here, you see that it will still give me something different. So I can go here and I continue building this particular chart to really get the detail of what I'm looking at. I can still click in the middle of the chart anywhere, and then I go here now inside my insert, and then I choose any of these charts. You see that I still have the charts here. Okay, let's choose this one. You see that we still have it here. Okay, so this is something that is very, very important, and I can put my data labels on here, and I can do a lot of things here. I can still delete this. Okay, I can still remove this out of my space. But what I'm happy that I saw here is that the AI was able to really analyze my data step by step, giving me all the data by boys, girls, total children, total person with disabilities. Came up here, gave me total IDPs, so, and also host, returning, and person with disabilities. Okay, so though there's some kind of confusion there in the data, it was not really giving me really clear cut. It was just because I think I did not really organize my data well, because you have person with disability boys, person with disability girls, and all this. So this is just how AI helps us to build data in different structures and in different ways. So we're